As South Africa hosts the G20 for the first time, its business counterpart, B20, helps to signal a critical turning point in global economic diplomacy. This week on Business Q&A, I'm joined by one of the key players in B20 SA, Busi Mabuza, who is the chair of the Trade and Investment Task Force, an international coalition of more than 200 business leaders working together to reshape global commerce for the 21st century. Busi, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for the opportunity, Nontobeko.
Now, just to set the tone, what exactly is the B20 SA and how should the local audience, engage or understand its purpose and mandates under South African leadership this year?
Nontobeko, as you indicated, this is the business platform that seeks, and it is the official business platform that seeks to influence the G20 policy direction, with South Africa having the presidency of the G20 this year. We have come together as businesses of all the G20 nations, including, of course, the African Union. Since India had the presidency, the AU has been included as part of the G20. And we have been at work, we have been in engagements as businesses of these nations for the past 4 to 5 months, engaging on what challenges are global businesses facing and how can we influence our political leadership of the G20 countries in ensuring that the business environment globally is conducive to our work. So we are not a platform for South Africa, of course, with South Africa being the first country to hold the presidency of the G20. The B20 leadership has seen it fit that we elevate the African agenda in the discussions. However, we need to make sure that our agenda talks to all businesses in all the G20 nations.
Just speaking to that African agenda, the theme for this year's B20 is inclusive growth and prosperity through global cooperation. How is the Trade and Investment Task Force, pushing that agenda, especially within a South African context?
So as I indicated, all of those 200 members of the task force have been engaging every 6 weeks for the past while. And we are now at a point where we are coming through with significant recommendations that have found resonance with all the G20 partners. Key amongst those recommendations is the call for the stabilization of the global trade systems. We know that with the threat of tariffs, sometimes coming unilaterally from some quarters, in other times in retaliation to those tariffs, we have seen instability in the trade environment. This is not conducive for business. It does not allow investors and businesses to invest for the long term, and we are therefore calling for a rollback of such measures. We are saying we need to engage on a multilateral basis. We need to make sure that the World Trade Organization is functioning optimally and that business has the voice to engage directly with the WTO to ensure that it is serving the purpose that it was formed for. In addition, if I may mention something that's closest to my heart, the task force has seen it fit to call for a new trade and investment deal for Africa. And we believe that this will catalyze the African Continental Free Trade Area's realization. As you know, at the moment, intra-Africa trade is at 17%, compared to 40% that is achieved by the Asian nations, compared to 59% that is achieved in terms of intra-European trade. And this stifles the growth opportunity that the African continent has. We believe that the bilateral relations and the agreements that the other G20 nations have with various countries on the African continent can be consolidated so that we unleash the African Continental Free Trade Area. So this is an exciting call from the task force.
You know, I like how you addressed the elephant in the room. I mean, we are no strangers to the current geopolitical tensions and the rising protectionism that's currently going on right now. And looking at the G20 presidency itself, it does present a unique opportunity to attract even more foreign direct investment. How do you see the task force leveraging this platform to, you know, carry out this mandate, attracting that foreign investment? And where do you see female entrepreneurs in this space as well?
Most exciting for me is that our leadership of the task force is majority female, accomplished business leaders from across the G20 nations. And I believe that that just will have so much impact on young females who are aspiring to get into business, to see that there are people that have gone before them. In addition, our call for the integration of the African continent immediately talks inevitably to the integration of businesses that are owned by young people, because that is who the African continent is. The majority of our population is youth, and we need to ensure that they are integral in driving the integration of the African continent going forward. And the task force seeks to ensure that this is realized through ensuring that the value chains that are created in the African continent and that are interlinked with the global value chains talk to small, medium enterprises, which, as you know, Nontobeko, are oftentimes owned by women, oftentimes owned by young people.
Yes.
So we believe that this will be a fantastic opportunity.
This is a start to so much more. Thank you very much for joining us, Busi. Looking forward to many more insights for the upcoming B20 SA Summit.
Thank you so much.
That was Busi Mabuza, Chair of the Trade and Investment Task Force, giving an outlook into the mandate of the B20 Summit and how the organization aims to leverage this platform to boost economic activity in South Africa.